anyway, so I wanted to show y'all the storage facilities. So we are in like a little tiny town. It's a suburb in Green Bay, and the storage here is brand new. Okay. It's called Safety Lock is what it's called. So that's the buildings that I was trying to show you. And and this is a little tiny town. Like and then somebody can, if you want to Google the population of Denmark, we can Google that and see. I'm always looking up population of towns, because it's very important in the storage investing world. Denmark, Wisconsin is, why is it important? Denmark was 2,200 people. So there's 2,200 people in this town. So the reason it's important is because essentially what you want to do is you want to calculate the total square footage of all of the storage facilities in an area, let's say 3 to 5 mile radius. And I would say 5 mile radius. So I would really say Denmark. I Googled it. Now I only found 3 storage facilities on Google. That does not mean that there's not any more. I didn't have any time to actually go into Google Maps and see if there's any more. But essentially I found 3 storage facilities, brand new storage facilities as well too. And I'm guessing if I look at these are big facilities. These are probably 200 units, so 20,000 square feet each. So that's 40,000 square feet right there. Plus there was another one. I don't know if it's bigger or not, but I'm guessing it's probably about the same size. And so I'm guessing about 60,000 square feet of storage in this. And what you would do is you would divide the 60,000 into the 2,200. Right, and then it would check a look and see 60,000. Yeah, see, that's like, yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, that's like 3. So so it could, you want to be between, like, a good number is between 6 and 8. If it's anywhere between, like, anywhere under 6 to or over 8, then it's just not a good place to be building. What that means is that it's oversaturated in this market. So what I'm thinking is, based on these 3 facilities, that there's too much storage in this area. Now, that doesn't mean that it could be, bad for a long time, because what I'm saying is that this little town is really like a suburb of Green Bay, and it's a very up and coming part of, I can tell it's very up and coming because everything looks brand new here. Everything looks brand new. There's a brand new McDonald's, like the roads are really nice. The houses are all brand new. So there must be some money being funneled into this town to build it up. And so, I would keep an eye on it to see if, maybe later down the road, there's a need for more storage in this area. But essentially, you would be dividing the total square footage. You would try to figure out the total square footage divided by the population. That number needs to be between 6 and 8. And if it's below or above 6 and 8, then it's just not a good deal, not a good place to be building or buying at. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. And so you can kind of look at that. So what I do is, like, now Green Bay has a population of 600,000 people. And we were down in Milwaukee. Was it Milwaukee? Yeah, Milwaukee has 500,000 people. So as I'm driving and as we've been kind of going through Wisconsin, I've been, like, searching the markets and searching the population of the areas and trying to see, like, if there's, if it's oversaturated or not with storage, right? So Milwaukee has 500,000 people and Green Bay has 600,000 people. I think, if that's what it was, or maybe it was Madison. I can't remember if it was Madison or Milwaukee. There's basically 3 major cities. There's Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay in Wisconsin. And then everything else is just like a little tiny town. So, so I'm going to be driving in Green Bay. I haven't been all driving up in there yet, and I'm going to go do that right now and drive around and look at storage in that area and just kind of see what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like what does the market look like? 600,000 people is just not a big area. It's just really not. Augusta, Georgia has 200,000 people. And that's what I'm saying, these towns are just not, they're not really big. So my question is, how much storage is in that area? So basically what I'm doing right now is market research and just looking to see, first of all, is there a need for storage in this area? Number one. And then number two, if I do find any storage facilities, like I would never contact the safety lock because it's a brand new facility. Now, some people might like that, right? If you want an income producing property that's like full and just making money, and you just start making money right off the bat, well, then you could go for something like, these newer facilities. I have a student in my coaching program. All he wants is just newer facilities, bigger facilities. That's all he wants to buy. And so he bought a facility. He lives in Dallas. He bought a facility like in about an hour south of Dallas for $1 million. And it's a brand new facility that just got built. And that's just kind of what he wants, So there's no like right or wrong way. I just like dumpy storage facilities. We like dumpy facilities. So for me, these types of facilities, I kind of just drive past and I just don't look at them anymore, right? But for somebody else, this might be something, might be something that y'all are interested in. But my point is that what I'm doing right now is market research. I'm just looking in Wisconsin and kind of see, is there really a need? Is there a need for storage? Is there really a need for all the storage, or how much storage is out here and where, and like what kinds of storage facilities? Okay, that's kind of where I'm at on this. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what's out here. Now in Georgia, I saw a couple of y'all are in Georgia. I mean, obviously, if you're living in the Atlanta area, like you got to have some money in order to be investing in storage in Atlanta, right? It's a $6 million, all of the not 6 million, 6 million people population, all the suburbs, and going even up towards the mountains, like up where I live, up in the Jasper area. It's just so expensive. And I've been all up in like Blairsville and Hiawassee, and they just want a lot of money for their facilities. That would be considered I'm considering that a 7 cap, a 7 to 8 cap up there. Like you should be around a 7 to 8 cap, which is like, which is a very low cap rate, for Georgia, 7 to 8 cap up in the mountains. And then as you go down towards like Canton would be considered a 6 cap. And then 5 caps, all 5 to 4 caps all throughout Atlanta. And then as you get down past Atlanta, into, let's say, past, I would say like out of the 20, like past into like Peachtree City, Fayetteville, you'll go back up to like a 7 cap. Now we're looking at a storage facility in like Thomaston, which is a little town. If y'all know that town, a town south of Atlanta, and it's like a little tiny town, kind of like it's bigger, going to be bigger than this town here that I'm looking at, and that's going to be like an 8 cap. You know what I'm saying? It's not, so so Georgia around the Atlanta area is actually very low cap rates, right? Very low cap rates. So that is why I look in tertiary markets. So like this type of like, this Denmark, Wisconsin, in between Augusta and Savannah, in between maybe like Macon and Valdosta, or kind of those areas. That's where I look and find storage, because you can buy anywhere from abandoned facilities up to maybe $1.5 million worth of storage in a tertiary market. Like I say, you don't really see like $2 million storage facilities, like $2 million or less in the tertiary market, right? And but then when you get into Atlanta, when you get it's like 2 million plus. It's like, it's expensive, unless you have some money to put down, right? Unless you have that kind of money, you should be looking in tertiary markets, or if you know how to get that money. Okay, if you know how to find that money, then you can look at like secondary or primary markets. Okay, but most of us were in tertiary markets. That's it. We're just in tertiary markets. Does that make sense to y'all? If y'all have any questions on that, just put them into the chat. Okay, but yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing is I'm just driving for storage, and then if I do come across a storage facility that I want to buy, like I want to talk to the owner, like I'm like, oh, this looks like a good one, I could buy this one. And then what I do is I just call the owner up. And most of the times the ones that I'm calling don't have office managers. So I don't really deal with office managers because they just annoy me most of the time. Now I have bought from, like we bought one in Valdosta that was that had an office manager, but she knew the owner wanted to sell, right? And she was like, yeah, I called him. I said, does the owner want to sell by chance? Do you know? And she's like, yeah, he actually does. Let me just give you his phone number, like that, But then most of the time, like the office manager does not want to share like any information with you and all. They're just always like, no, they don't want to sell because they don't want to lose their job. They don't really, plus they don't care. Now our office manager, her name is Bonnie. We told her, like, anybody ever calls and wants to buy our storage facilities, you better tell us. You better tell us, because you never know. They could want to give me a 6-cap. They could be like hedge funds or somebody that like, yeah, they'll just give you a 6-cap. I'll sell my facilities for a 6-cap. You know what I'm saying? So we tell Bonnie, like, anybody, she does, and people call us all the time for our storage, to buy our storage facilities. They call us all the time. At least once a week, we get a letter in the mail for one of our facilities. Remember, we have a lot of facilities, but we get at least one letter in the mail. And then I would say at least once a week, we probably get somebody to call and want to buy our storage facilities. And we have a guy, his name's Jamie. He calls like every month because he works for a company that just owns storage, and they're just trying to acquire as many as they can. And so he'll call and just check in like once a month. I'm like, Jamie, no, I'm not in the mood. He's like, are you sure you got so many storage facilities? Just sell one of them, And I'm just like, no, we're trying to buy more. Give us one of your storage facilities. And so those of you that are like, I'm not going to go out and do any driving. Essentially, what I'm saying is that all these people are calling us and sending us letters. And you know what they do? I want you to look at me as a typical storage facility owner. I have become a typical storage facility owner. Me and my husband. All right. And guess what? We don't want to be bothered with all that BS. All right. So if you're just calling, hey, do you want to sell your facility? Hey, do you want to sell your facility? We're just like, no. Right. Until somebody like sticks out, like for some reason. We have one guy that called up, and he just like, he just started talking to us. He lives right around the corner from one of our facilities. See, that's thing, is that he lives right around the corner. And that's what he said, is like, look, I live right around the corner from one of your facilities. I want to buy it. I've been eyeballing it. I see all the work y'all are doing to it. He says, I want to go ahead and buy that. What do you want for it? And I told him I want $1 million. We bought it for $250,000. It's like, are you sure you want to buy that? Because I'm thinking like $1 million. He's like, yeah, I want to buy it. So he's somebody that lives right around the corner from us. But then Jamie, who like lives in Ohio, like I don't want to deal with this guy. All right, I don't even want to deal with this guy. So we just kind of ignored them. We got a letter the other day from somebody that wants to buy our Franklin facility, and they live also in that area. They live like not in the Georgia area, but they live in the Alabama area. But they own a storage facility right on the across the border into Alabama, and that's what they said. Well, at least that's what they said in their letter. They were like, "Look, we live like right across the way in Alabama. We have one facility. We've been kind of doing a little circle, and we've been eyeballing your facility to be interested in buying it." And I'm like, "Yeah, somebody that like lives right around the corner from it. Like that might be okay." But people that are just sitting there and they live in Georgia, and they're trying to call you in like Philadelphia and stuff, these people just kind of like, storage facility owners don't want to deal with it, right? So what we're doing is just, we just talk to the people that actually connect to us. That's really kind of the main thing. And that's what you want to do. You want to connect to the storage facility owners. You want to connect to them. Somehow you have to figure out if they're going to sell you the facility, why would they sell it? So I'm in Wisconsin and I'm going to call all these people up. And how am I going to connect to all these storage facility owners? What I'm going to do is I'm going to be right in front of their facility when I call them. That's how I connect with them. That's how I connect, is when I'm right in front of the facility, I will call them up. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't go onto our list and get mailed a letter and then get a phone call as well too. But pretty much every facility except for one that I've ever bought, I have literally been right in front of the facility. I've just been right in front of it and been like, hey, I'm here in front of your facility. I've been, we own several other storage facilities and we're looking to pick one up. Would you be interested in sale? And they'd be like, you're right in front of it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like right here. I'm looking at it. And it says like rainbow storage on it or whatever, it's got like red doors. And they're just like, oh yeah. Well, I live right around the corner. And that's how we connect. That's how we connect. And actually my acquisitions person, his name's Chris, this is how he connects too. So he drives around and he just like calls them up when he's right in front of them. And out of like 20 facilities that he'll probably find 5 of them he'll get like 5 of them that will answer the call. And then out of those, and he'll leave, and anybody that wants to meet him right then and there, he'll meet them. And if they do want to meet him, he'll leave an offer. He'll just leave an offer right then and there. So now he's to the point where he's like, I'm thinking 300. And I'm like, just put an offer in. Like, we'll figure it out later. We can always go back and renegotiate, be like, hey, we were totally off. We suck. I'm sorry. But he's getting to the point now where like he's kind of understanding the commercial deal analysis, and he'll come up with a number and just be like, yeah, let's do it. And he'll just put an offer in. So one of the things that we do really, really well is that we always have our contracts with us. And if somebody does want to meet us, we just fill out the contract and leave it with the owner. And then we say, okay, here's like, we're going to just leave this offer with you, like whether or not you take it or not, you just want to keep it, just take a look at it and then just keep it. And this is always negotiable, but this is our offer. So I want to just leave, since I'm here with you now, I want to just leave this offer with you. And that's what we do. And that's how we get our deals. So he did that just about a month or so ago. Actually, no, it was like 2 months ago. We got 2 facilities under contract that way. And so now we're buying so many storage facilities, and that's what we do. That's it. That's all we do. We drive around, we call the storage facilities when we're right in front of them. We try to meet with them right then and there. And then once we meet with them, we leave them an offer. That is our process on how we find storage facilities. We focus on tertiary markets. Okay. That's the secret sauce. That's how we find our storage facilities. Okay. So if y'all have any questions about that, y'all can just let me know, put them into the chat. What are y'all thinking? I see participants here. I have Aisha. Aisha, is it Aisha? Or no, Jade. Okay, do you want me to call you Jade? Dottie, or Dade? Is it Donna? And then Kevin. Kevin, what are you doing here? Do I know Kevin? I think I know Kevin. And Mark. If y'all have any questions, put into the chat, okay? What are y'all thinking? Can y'all do that? Possible? Not possible? Like, I cannot do that. There's no way that I could ever do that. What are y'all thinking? Yeah, exactly. You gotta get out there. Like Mark says, great to get out and see and meet the owners. Exactly. You've got to get out there. And I'm telling you, you can go online and you can go, first of all, you could go to a broker, like a commercial realtor or a commercial broker. Guess what? They're just going to try to find any old storage facility for you at like top dollar. They don't even care what the cap rate is. They don't care anything about you, right? All they want to do is just make money. All right. You can go online to Crexi, LoopNet, MLS, and try to find facilities. But the thing is that those are also listed by other commercial real estate, brokers. And they also, first of all, they either don't know how to calculate the numbers, or they're trying to sell it like a 6 cap or like a 5 or 7 cap. Every once in a while you'll see like an 8 cap and people will be like, 8 cap, that's awesome, and the truth of the matter is the way that I find my facilities, what I'm doing right now, what I'm telling y'all, my cap rates, now I buy mismanaged facilities, so my cap rates are like super duper duper low, right? Because they're like, there's no income coming in, so the cap rate's horrible, right? Now income producing properties are different, but with a mismanaged facility, the cap rates are so low that, of course, I'm buying them at like a 0 cap or a negative. I bought like -2 caps before. All right, but what happens is on the back end, I'm looking at the opportunity of that property, and I'm getting all my properties are 20% plus cap rates, 20% cap rates. And then Jade is asking, what cap rates are good. So if you're in a primary market, your cap rate is typically 4 to 6%. If you're in a secondary market, your cap rate is like a 6 to 8%. All right. And if you're in a tertiary market, your cap rates are 8 plus. Okay. That's for an income producing property. If you are buying a mismanaged property, then your cap rate is like 0, right? Or 1 or 2 or something. It's like really low, because cap rates are based off of your NOI, and your NOI is basically based off of the total income that you're making, minus your expenses. So you want to take the you want to look at the property as a whole. And then you want to say like, okay, what is the opportunity value that I can get? And the thing is most people, all they care about is that cap rate. And the cap rate is important, but it's like, I say it's important on the back end for the opportunity, right? It's important on how much are you going to be making? Is it like, 13%? An income producing property, if you're making 13% cap rate, you're doing awesome. Awesome. All right. Like some of my students in my coaching program, they're just like, I only want income producing properties. I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to go through all the BS of getting all the old tenants out, getting new tenants in, cleaning it up, doing all this work, managing it properly and all this. I don't want to do that. All I want is like, as soon as I buy that thing, I'm making money because I need that. I don't want to come out of pocket every single month. That's a mismanaged facility. Okay. And so that's an income producing property. That's an income. If you don't want to put up with the BS of managing your property, then you shoot for an income producing property, because the income producing properties are going to make money immediately. Okay. Our properties are mismanaged properties. What that means is that we're coming out of pocket every single month just to keep that thing afloat. But we know on the back end, if we have to come out $1,000 or $2,000 every month, we know on the back end that we know we're going to be making like 20% plus cap rates. With a mismanaged property, you can make 20+% cap rates. With an income producing property, you're going to make anywhere from like 9 to like 13% cap rates. It's what I'm seeing. Okay. Which is not bad. It's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like those cap rates are not bad. It's just that you can make a lot more, with a mismanaged property, just knowing that you have to come out of pocket every single month. So cap rates, essentially, you're going to be looking at, if an income producing property, what is the cap rate as is? Most likely, those are going to be anywhere from, 7 to like a 9 cap. But then can you push that cap rate to like a double-digit cap rate, right? So you're looking for double-digit cap rates for income producing properties on the back end. Okay. On a mismanaged property, you're buying them at a 1, 2 or 2 cap. You're buying super low cap rates, which is bad. All right. But on the back end, you're going to be able to increase that to like a 20+% cap rate. Okay. And a value added property. Now, if you buy an income producing property or a mismanaged property, and then you're like, oh, and then plus there's 5 extra acres of land, available to, with this, like there's a storage facility plus 5 acres. So like in Florida, we're getting like, an 8-acre lot, but the facility is only taking up like 2 acres. Okay, so we're going to have like an extra 6 acres to do whatever we want with. So that increases the value, right? But you have to also pay the money to build if you want to build on, right? So then it's like, kind of increases the value, but at the same time, it's going to cost you money to value add it. But if you build, you can get even better cap rates than if you just do like flipping a storage facility, like what I do. So essentially, I flip storage facilities. You can also build, or you can just buy an income producing property, right? One that's already making money. Okay, does that make sense? And let's see, chat. Which cap rates are better? Oh yeah, good. Let me know what other questions that you guys have about that. All right. Okay, really what I'm saying, the point is though, is that I wanted to show you that all you have to do is get into your car and go and look at the areas. Try to find areas, try to find little towns like this. Like, this is an up and coming new town that's growing, you can tell, but there's also towns that are like 5 to maybe 20,000 people in your area. Go find those towns and then drive around and see all the storage facilities in those towns. And then call when you're right there, just call every single one of the owners. Let's just say there's a town of like 15,000 people and there's anywhere from 5 to 10 facilities in that town. Out of all those people that you call, you're going to get like maybe 1 or 2 that are going to answer. So it's not like it's going to be like crazy, like, oh shit, now what do I do, right? It's not going to be like that. And all they want to do is just talk to them on the phone because they just like hanging out at home, either watching TV or they're like sitting in their office doing nothing, twiddling their thumbs, right? So now, and then what you're going to do is when you call them, they're not going to have the information that you need. It's not like you're going to call them up and they're going to be like, yeah, I want to sell you my information, sell you my facility. I got it. It's 13,000. It's 100 units. And I have 10 by 5s and 20 25. No, they're not going to know any of that information. They're not going to know anything, right? But you're going to talk to them, connect to them on the phone, get to know them, build rapport, and then you're going to say, look, is it okay if I email you over all the things that I'm going to need for you so that I can make you an offer? There's like, there's a handful of things that I need from you. Is it okay if I email you and just send over all that information to me so I can send over an offer to you? Or if you talk to them on the phone, it's like, hey, can I come out there and meet you? I would love to be able to come and just meet you, see your facility. Is it possible that you can meet right now? I'm right here in front of your facility. Or like, if not, can we schedule another time that I can come out and see you? Right? Because essentially the thing is that you just want to spend as much time as you can with these people so that they actually connect and they want to, so if they can't meet you right then and there, like, get their email and then just email what you need from them. But if they can meet you, then just meet them. They'll live right around the corner, and you just go out and just talk to them and just try to connect with them. Is really what you want to do. Okay, we have where can you find additional funds without going to the bank? Well, so you need to, if you want to fund these things, essentially you need to either like find private lenders, right? So you got to find private lenders, or you need to learn creative. If you don't have any money, you need to learn how to do creative deal structuring, right? And what that means is that you need to get them to be the bank. The owner can be the bank, or or you could do all different kinds of stuff. You could take it subject to. You could do a lease option. You could do any type of creative deal structure as well. But like what you want is you want it, like, if you don't have any money, honestly, if you're like, I don't have any money to buy a storage facility right now, what I would do is get out and look for storage facility owners that want to sell, and then put it under contract and wholesale it. So the very first 1 or 2 that you get, essentially, that you get under contract, you're going to wholesale those, and they're going to make anywhere from 25 to 100 grand on each facility, depending on what it is. And then once you sell 1 or 2 of those, and you'll have some money, and then you can use that as a down payment. You're 20% down. All right. And that's what I tell all my students is like, if you don't have any money, you need to either find private lenders, find somebody that's going to give you the money, or partner with you. You need to learn creative deal structuring, or you need to wholesale the properties. Okay, those are the 4 things that you can do. Find a partner, find somebody to just lend you the money. You need to learn creative deal structuring and get them to be the bank or something like this, or you need to wholesale the property. I have one student that I worked with last year, and he didn't have any money at all. And he went out and he started driving for storage, and he got a facility under contract near Augusta for $130 grand, and he wholesaled it for $230 grand. And then he took that $100,000 and he used it as a down payment for his first storage facility. Okay, so so that's what you can do. All right, totally can do that. All right, and if you don't know how to wholesale, then you need to learn how to wholesale, because wholesaling is the basis of like all real estate transactions. If you come across a transaction, any type of transaction, if you come across any type of transaction at all, if you don't want that transaction and they want to sell, then you can always wholesale it. If it's if it's a commercial property or a residential property. So if you do not know how to wholesale, I highly recommend that you go to Mike Watkins Wholesaling, so you can learn how to wholesale. Or if you can't go to his sessions, then just take his course. It's completely free on the REI USA website. It's inside the member portal under online courses. Okay, so learn how to wholesale. All right, and then also you need to learn creative deal structuring. Creative deal structuring is with William Tingle. He meets like once a month on Saturdays. That's all he does, is teaches creative deal structuring. And I also emailed out a boot camp that's coming up in September with him too. So so make sure you use the REI USA discount so that you can get that, like I think it's like 50% off. I can't remember what he gave. But anyway, so you can always go to his boot camp. It's the William Tingle boot camp. It's a subject to boot camp, but he's going to teach all creative deal structuring, and spend the whole weekend just learning how to do creative deal structuring with him, right? That's what I suggest. Learn how to wholesale, learn how to do creative deals, and then you've got to get out there and start asking people for money. So now I have 2 Florida properties under contract, and all I'm doing is just like asking people for money. I'm like randomly just like, asking anybody and everybody I know about, do you have any money for me to blend? And I sent out an email to my list, let everybody know that I got a few under contract. And like one person set up an appointment with me, I don't even know who this person is. Somehow it just got on my email list. And I set up an appointment with me. I started talking on the phone, and I was talking to him on Zoom, like a Zoom meeting. And he was like, I've been following you for a while, I'm very interested in like working with you, He's like, and I said, well, just tell me about your stuff. And he's like, I'm an investor. I live in Seattle. He said, but I just, I said, I've got money, I'm about to sell a property and make some money. I'm looking at some place to put it. And I was like, well, how much money is it? He says, about 650 grand. And I was like, I have the perfect property for you. And I have this property under contract for 620 grand. I was like, why don't you lend me the money for this property? I was like, yeah, I'd really be interested in that. So we're going to work out the details and try to figure out, what he wants, and, whatever he wants. I mean, I'll just work with them, whatever the lender wants, within reason. Usually I pay 8% interest, but I'm okay with even giving away a portion of the profit. I'm just, we're like easy peasy lemon squeezy. We just work with our lenders, whatever makes them happy. And that's how we find our private lenders. So what I suggest posting out everything that you're doing that has to involve real estate investing, posting it out. That's what I do. That's all I do. Everything that we're doing is posted out. That's why y'all know about REI USA and stuff. And start following me just so you can see what I'm doing. Right? I suggest follow me and see all the different types of posts that we're posting out. I post out all my driving for storage stuff. I post out, when I'm out and about, like I'm about to go do a video right now, right here, and just do like a quick video, and I'll post that out. Anything and everything that I do. I mean, Mark knows. I've known Mark for many, many years. He's been following me. He knows all the stuff I do on social media. You have to put yourself out into the world, and you have to like post out everything that you're doing. You don't, and then, you don't ask for money. You can't ask for money from anybody like online or anything. It's against SEC rules, right? But what you can do is just post out all the wins that you have, right? And like I said, this guy has been following me. He's like, yeah, I've been following you for a while. He's like, I'm interested in like working with you. And he's been following me for years. So it's like, you never know when somebody can want to lend you some money, but after a while, it starts to add up. All my posts, everything that I do every single day, is all adding up. So you need to start building credibility, and you just never know when you post something out. And we syndicate that out. So we use a syndication site called. We use a syndication site called Publer. Have y'all ever heard of Publer? It's Publer. And actually, I got recommended this. We used to use Hootsuite, but we switched it over to Publer. And I got recommended Publer by our Google Ads person. And he was like, you should use Publer. It's much better. And you can post out one post, and you can post it to you can do Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, I don't know what, Instagrams, like whatever they're called, right? So like my people are just posting out one time, and it goes to everything. You could do groups, you could do all kinds of stuff, right? So you want to look into Publer and, just kind of set all your accounts up, and then just start posting out. Like when you go out looking for property, it doesn't have to be about just, storage. It's like anything that you're doing in real estate. If you're looking at any type of property, post it out and let everybody know. It's called Publer, Publer. Publer, and I think it's like Publer.io. I think that's the website, but I'm not 100% sure. And it's not that expensive. It's maybe like $10-15 a month or something. It's not really that expensive. I think it's like $1 per network that you do. And so we just post out, and then I'm telling you that over like the last 10 years of us posting out, I mean, we've raised millions and millions of dollars through. And then and a lot of times what we'll do is when we post out, we lead everybody to our website, and then they opt in into the website for free trainings or like whatever, anything that we do, we opt, and then that's just all, it just adds up. I'm telling you, it just adds up. So you need to really take advantage of that. Okay, to find lenders. I know everybody's always looking for money, and everybody thinks that money is the hardest part, but really money comes from building credibility. And the way that you build credibility now is through social media. That's it, right? That's it. Unless it's like friends and family, maybe some coworkers, and I would say like referrals. So it's either social media or referrals. Okay, social media or referrals. So you should be focusing on social media and referrals, right? And don't be afraid to ask for money. I'm always asking everybody for money all the time. I have no qualms about that anymore. I'm just asking. Okay. Hey, can you mention total square foot divided by total population? If the number falls between 6, then it's a storage unit to look into. 6 and 8. No, if it falls in between 6 and 8. If it's under 6 or over 8, it's not a good deal. It has to fall in between 6 and 8. Because if it's under 6 or over, that usually means it's oversaturated or undersaturated, right? So unless you want to build. If you're going to just buy, that's the formula. Okay. Do you know where I can purchase a list, or do you drive for storage? I only drive for storage and build my own lists is what I do. But you can talk to Karen Anderson if you want a list. I'm telling you that sending out letters to a list does not work in the storage investing world. It just doesn't work. I get letters all the time, and guess what? I put it into my file and I never call. And I'm telling you, I'm a typical storage facility owner, okay? And so the best way to find storage is to drive for storage and talk to the owners when you're right in front of them. Like, repeat this over and over and over to everybody, and then everybody says, where can I buy a list? Commercial real estate is completely different than residential real estate, completely different. And in fact, in the commercial real estate world, if you are a wholesaler and you have no idea what the hell you're doing, then you're shunned. Nobody ever wants to work with you again, right? You need to learn how to run commercial deal analysis and put a PP, like an OM and a PPM together, and like really present this stuff. Whereas in a residential real estate, it's like you just send out an address and people like do your own due diligence. But you're only making like 5 or 10 grand. And wholesaling, and on the wholesaling side for storage, you're going to make like 50 to 100 grand, right? So like you need to be working for that money, right? I'm okay with you making 50 grand as long as I get everything that I possibly need beforehand in order to make a decision. That's how we think in the commercial real estate world. Okay, lists, you can do a list, but everybody does lists. Everybody does lists. Okay, Karen Anderson is a sponsor for REI USA. Karen Anderson. And her, you can email her listsandmarketing@gmail.com. Listsandmarketing@gmail.com. And she can get you any list, any list. She's awesome at any type of real estate investing list. Okay. So not just storage, and she can get you vacant properties or like absentee or distressed properties or foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, whatever you want, right? She can get you storage. It's expensive. The lists are not cheap. Okay. But honestly, I'm telling you that why would you buy a list that's going to cost you like $1,500 to $2,000? My marketing budget for storage, for buying storage facilities, is gas money. That's it. I have no marketing budget at all. I just drive for storage. I call it market research, and I'm just out driving for storage. I have no marketing budget on. In fact, our marketing budget to find storage facilities is $0 because we just drive for storage and like put offers in for sellers that want to talk to us. Okay, that's how we do it. So there's no reason to spend a couple $1,000s on a list when you could just drive around and just call, talk to the people. My personal opinion, but you can do it if you want to. Okay. All right, good. Anybody else? Any final questions about storage so I can get you your homework? Your homework for this month is to get out and drive for storage. And when you do, I want you to, every storage facility that you find, I want you to take a picture of it and post it, #driving for storage, in the REI USA group, in the Facebook group. Right. And, make some videos and post them on your personal page as well, to put on your personal, feed, right? Letting everybody know, like, hey guys, I'm out driving for storage. I found this storage facility. What do you think? Should I buy it? Right. And just see what people say. Like, oh, you're buying storage? That's awesome. They're going to all be so interested. Right. And I'm going to tell you, that's how you start building credibility. And post it in the REI USA group as well, so I can see what you're doing, see if you're actually getting out and driving. Your homework is to get out and drive for storage. And those that get out, I tell you, every time that we get out and drive for storage, we find somebody that wants to sell. Every time. Okay. So that's what my personal opinion is what you should be doing. And don't worry about talking to the owner and sounding like an idiot. Just be like, hey, do you want to sell? And if so, and then they say, would you be interested in meeting? And then if you do want to meet them, if you meet them, then just say, look, tell me about your facility. And they'll tell you everything. That's all you have to say is tell me about your facility. And they'll just tell you everything. Okay. And that's basically what I do. Okay. All right. Any final questions? Anything else? Y'all think y'all can do it? Y'all think y'all can get out there and drive for storage? Yes or no? Any more feedback? Any other final questions? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go make a couple of videos of these storage facilities I found, and I'm going to go drive for storage as well too. So I'll post out a couple storage facilities in the REI USA group, so y'all can kind of see what I do, and y'all get an idea of how I do it as well too. And I haven't even planned my day out. I'm just driving around looking for storage, and I'll just search on Google Maps. I'll just search Google Maps and say storage near me, and then I'll just go to a couple of them. And on my way to a couple of them, I'll just look and see if there's any other ones that are not on Google Maps. I really do target the ones that are not on Google Maps. Okay. All right. All right. I appreciate your time. Thank you for hanging out, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me for the day. And I will see, for the hour, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay. I'll be here next month. All right. Take care.